Hello, everybody. I'm Sue Sproul for Lix Media with Caroline Mayou and André Pitt, and we're here this morning with Annie Juneau, a very courageous naturopath. What is a naturopath? It's an alternative medicine, complementary person to help you with your health as a whole, like we say, in a holistic way. And that's a way that our current government, our current College of Physicians is not looking at. And we're lucky to have this lady that decided to stand up for us who want to have an option to handle our health in Quebec. There's a law that has been modified in around 2002-2003, Article 31, and in that law article, they determined that what is a medical act. And it was cut in two different statements. Prior to that time, when only doctors and medical fields could commit on a diagnosis of any type of medical act. And all the legal jurisprudence, all the legal precedents are dated back from, some of them, from 1984 and before that. So there's obviously no update and modern day update, if you want, in this article of law, and it's a big impact. And as a citizen attending today this audition and this appeal for this naturopath, Annie Juneau, standing right beside me, that I'm going to let you talk in a few moments, there is a real concern currently in Canada against any alternative medical assistance by anybody else but a doctor. As a citizen in Canada, we have and we are in a situation where we've lost trust in our public institutions, and especially with the last 4 years, without naming anything, we have a really big concern of what is really for the public's protection. And why I'm using these words, because the lawyer that was representing the physician college used it quite a bit. I think I counted 20 times. He said, we're here to protect the interests of the public. If that was the case, where were they in the last 4 years? I'm not going to go there, but that just rings a bell, a big alarm bell in my own brain as a citizen. Why are we going after a lady that has her own expertise, that has her own office, that is part of a professional order, that makes people sign consents? She lets and informs people that she's not a medical doctor, she's an alternative medical field expert. And our laws currently, what I've heard in court this morning from the lawyer representing the Collège des Médecins du Québec, was we're here to protect the interests of the public. On a personal note, I doubt that very much. I don't trust them anymore. I have more trust in people like you, Annie Juneau, that are trying to figure out a holistic way of looking approach of our health. Not just, here's a system, you have a symptom, this is a disease, and this is the medication you have to take. They never look at your nutrition, they never look at your vitamins, they never look at what you're putting in your body, and people like you are actually looking at those different optics, spending time with your customers to try to find a different approach to gaining back your health. And they sent a spy, basically, a planted fake customer to your clinic, and she was there just to entrap you, basically. And she came over there with symptoms of bloating stomach. Bloating stomach, you can be PMSing, you can have problems digesting. Everybody knows about enzymes and digestive enzymes. I've known about those, and I'm not in a holistic field at all since I'm a teenager. I took papaya. I'm sure you heard about papaya pills. In the 80s and 90s, we all took them to help us digest. That's just an example to say. But what she was doing was actually just doing the same thing as they do at Rachel Berry, at Tao, at any other health store, but she actually asks questions. She just doesn't say, okay, your stomach, you're swollen, or you have bloating, here, I'll give you this pill. No, that's not what she's doing. She's asking a lot of questions, looking at your entire medical history, and tries to give you options to have an alternative way of going about your health issues. What the Collège des Médecins is trying to say, that anytime somebody tries to say, maybe your colon is irritated, you know, I don't need to be a doctor to realize if I'm having a lot of trouble digesting, what's in there. if you know basic anatomy, it's either your stomach, your esophagus, or your colon. It's pretty simple, and I'm no doctor here. I'm just an ordinary person trying to understand everything going on. So I'm really grateful to people like you, what you're doing, and to go in there and entrap you and fine you $30,000 when we have people in health stores doing, I would say, a disservice to customers, because they're just saying, oh, take this product, it's going to help you, without even asking all the questions that somebody like you does. I'm actually thinking that they really don't want the naturopaths in our province to be able to help others. That's the message I'm getting when I hear things like this and I read your court documents. But that's just an opinion, okay? I'm no legal personnel. So my question for you would be, what do you think is going to happen in the next few years with naturopathy in Quebec? And it's pretty obvious for us, anyways, that they're trying to put the most sticks in your wheels, if you want to use that expression. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, first of all, putting sticks in the wheels, I think they have been doing it for a very long time. Let's be clear.
Yes.
Jurisprudentials are there since the last one I saw was 1971, then 1980, 1981. I read them all. And they all state the same thing. Just the idea of wanting to help someone in their health issue, it belongs to doctors. It's a medical act. So whatever I wanted to say, I don't even have to say anything. And that's it. Je suis coupable.
So you're guilty.
I'm guilty. That's the word I was looking.
They presumed you're guilty,
yes,
even though
I'm not even saying anything, because there's a past judgment saying just the intellectual process of, let's say she's saying she's bloated, and I'm just grabbing my enzyme bottle. Just the process of, oh, if you have bloating, I'm going to give you insult. It's a diagnosis. So there's no escape. I mean,
so they're playing with words, basically.
Of course they're playing with words. But because of the past judgments, and it's been running and running and running, we have no chance. So you go on the first instance, you go in Superior Court. I mean, there's no way you're going to win. It's impossible, because they have so many jurisprudence against anybody who's presenting themselves.
So they're not applying the law. They're applying jurisprudence.
Yes. Okay. So you got it. This is how the Court of Justice works now. This is what we've discovered, my husband and I, for the last 5 years, is the law is based on past judgments. So what kind
of justice is that?
Well, when you don't know how it works, you lose, because you need to do your research. So when we went on the first instance, of course you hire a lawyer and you think, you know, of course, I'm reading the law, I mean the Article 31, and in my mind, I'm fine because my interpretation is right. So I'm not understanding why I'm losing or why I was going to lose. But then when you stand and you hear them, well, in 1984 and 1998, and they go on and go on for hours and hours, you're going to lose. So we went back and we said, okay, that's enough. We need to find a way. And my belief system, I believe in Jesus.
And I believe in Jesus too.
And I believe Jesus gives us keys and the truth and removes the veil. So we're going to find out the key into the details. So we digged and dig and dig, and we found it. And we finally got up to today, the appeal court, and we were able to present for the first time in history.
Amen, and thank you for doing that.
The difference in the law. And it's the first time that finally, I think, they have the opportunity to judge according to the right interpretation. We're in 2025. Everybody knows what a naturopath is. Even if the judges are older or whatever, they've heard. They are Rachel Berry's, they are Avo in this world.
The proof it, they're all over the place.
And so they know there's a need of the society. It's not for the protection of the public. I think the argument, that's the only argument they have.
You know what? The only argument I heard is the protection of the public.
I'll tell you why.
And if that's the only argument they have against you, then there's nothing to believe them, because we know they don't care about the public. So if they're after you, it's it's not because they have the protection of the public in mind. They want to protect the doctors of the Collège de Médecins, and they want to restrict and make sure that they are the only ones who can heal us when we want to use different methods, and we want people like you and like Caroline and other naturopaths to help us.
I will still say that we are in a world where we need the medical system, because it's as an emergency. If I have an accident, I'm going to need to go to see my doctor. I maybe need a surgery. And it's okay. They're there for a purpose, and we're here for a purpose. We're complementary.
But they never look at the holistic approach of looking at the entire whole of a person. And they never look at nutrition. And the only thing they want to do is give you medication that are big pharma medication. As maybe us, as public, we want to be treated. We want to have the choice, and we're not getting those choices. And we want people like you to be able to inform us and give us a choice.
Hopefully, the court and the judges heard us, and they have the opportunity with what we've gave them, with all the laws, the doctrines, the jurisprudence, the legislation, why it got changed. I mean, we gave them everything they need in order for them to judge accordingly.
I have hope. I heard the judges at the first beginning, like when you were talking in the interview in French with André, I kind of like lost hope and saying, oh my God, they're not even going to give her an opinion. And then suddenly I saw those two judges actually asking really good questions, and it makes a lot of sense. What is making a holistic determination of a health problem? Do you absolutely need a doctor to determine, give you a diagnosis? We can observe even ourselves as human beings of our own issues. Does that mean that I'm not allowed to determine what's wrong with me because I'm not a doctor? That's going really, really deep and restricting even free speech on what you can even determine for yourself. So I really, really like the approach of the judge asking, how do you interpret the difference between a naturopath working in a health store and what Annie Juneau is doing? And I'm really appreciative of those judges for doing that. It gave me a little bit of hope also, because I wasn't seeing any hope either in the first part of your court hearing.
It was tough.
Yes, it was tough for us to listen to as well. And to only hear the argument of the Physician College, we need to protect, and the legislators that changed that law was meant to protect the public. You know what? We don't believe you. And especially not lawyers, and especially not le Collège des Médecins. And I really have hope that these judges listen to the people. If you really, really care about the public, you should let Madame Annie Juneau be able to carry her case and present proofs, and then maybe our Collège of Physicians will work with the alternative medical field people legally instead of restricting what you can and cannot do, and taking away options for us, the public and citizens of Quebec, of Canada, on the way we want to deal with our health. I'll give you something not related to Annie. Some people are remembering, we have Nicolas Tétrault, his son, his two and a half year old son, that they were about to harvest his organs at the Montreal Children here in Montreal, and they had put him on 15 medications. One medication, he was receiving 5 times the dosage of an adult on a 35-pound baby. If that's not enough to question our Collège de Médecins and what's happening in Quebec, and then they're going after people that are trying to give us different options, when we know that they don't even want to give cheap medications such as oxygenation treatments and hyperbare options for people that have simple health issues, because they want to go the pharmaceutical way, because that's the directive of our College of Physicians currently in Quebec. And it's extremely sad that our doctors are obliged in this way and have their hands locked up, and they cannot even help people like you, like Caroline, and other naturopaths that could be complementary in a holistic way and helping everybody have a much healthier lifestyle and be happier and more productive. So I am very grateful for people like you, and I'm grateful to Lux Media, André Pitt, Caroline Mayou, to make sure that we're here and we can inform everybody, because we're not getting these news and these cases covered by our mainstream media. It's only people on the alternative side, either in medical field, either in media, and in everything actually right now, that we can try to get a little bit of truth, because we're lacking a lot of truth in our society right now. And anybody that tries to say otherwise, you are muzzled, you are silenced, or even worse, you're fined $30,000 and dragged into courts for just trying to help other people, and it's wrong. That's my point of view. My name is Sue Sproul for Lix Media. Thank you very much, Annie Juneau, and your husband, Stéphane.
Thank you.